Somewhere between the harpoons and heroic speeches, the sea beast quietly turns into How to Train Your Dragon in a Pirate Hat. 1. Manuals made to misinform. In both movies, there's a big book of lies pretending to be the truth. In How to Train Your Dragon, it's the Dragon Manual. In The Sea Beast, it's the Tales of Captain Crow. Same idea. Thick, dusty, full of warnings that are more fear than fact. They're treated like sacred texts, slammed on tables, passed between generations, and followed without question. Until the kids flip through and realize, wait, this is all nonsense. The creatures aren't evil, they're just misunderstood. And just like that, the books go from truth to trash. Funny how education ends up being the real monster. 2. The Hunter's Hangout looks familiar. In both films, the brave monster slayers need a break, and apparently, they all go to the exact same bar. Whether it's Vikings or sailors, the vibe is identical. Low ceilings, fire in the middle, too much beer, and one guy always bragging about the beast he totally killed last week. Animal heads hang on the walls like trophies, and the crowd laughs, until someone dares to say, maybe the monsters aren't so bad. Then it gets awkward. Even the food fights show up on schedule. It's like someone copy-pasted the whole tavern scene and hoped we wouldn't notice through the beer foam. 3. They start the same way. Both movies open in the dark, on a boat, with something big and angry rising from the shadows. There's thunder, crashing waves, terrified sailors, and just enough lightning to reveal the monster's outline. Right away, we're told these creatures are dangerous. No questions asked. It's loud, dramatic, and almost frame for frame the same in both films. The Sea Beast just swaps dragons for tentacles. This kind of opening works hard to scare you, but also sneaks in a trick. The real twist isn't the beast. It's the reveal later on that maybe the monster wasn't the one doing the real damage. 4. The same beast, just in chains. There's always that one scene where the creature finally gets caught. In both movies, it plays out almost exactly the same. The beast is tied down, struggling, while everyone gathers to gawk or celebrate. Red is pinned to the ship. Toothless is trapped in a cove. Both creatures give that same look. Wide eyes, tired, scared, but not angry. That moment is supposed to make you feel victorious, but something feels wrong instead. Then, a kid steps in, sees the truth, and cuts the ropes. It's not just about setting the creature free, it's about setting the story straight again. 5. Red looks a little too familiar. Red might swim instead of fly, but let's not pretend the resemblance isn't there. With those round green eyes, wide puppy-like face, and oddly cute reactions, Red feels like Toothless with a sea monster filter. The body shape, the head tilts, even the way the fins and tail move, none of it feels original. It's like Toothless went on vacation and came back wetter, angrier, and a few shades redder. If you muted both movies and played them side by side, you'd probably lose track of which creature belongs to which story. Someone clearly peeked at the neighbor's homework here. 6. The Killer Turns Kind. Both stories follow the same playbook. The hunter wants glory, trains to kill, and ends up switching sides after meeting one so-called monster who doesn't act like one. Hiccup wants to slay a dragon to feel useful. Jacob wants to take down Red to prove himself. But once they see the creature up close, once they really see it, everything changes. They both hide their new friendship, wrestle with guilt, then risk everything to stop the violence they once believed in. By the time the final speech rolls around, it's not even about the monster anymore. It's about fixing the lie. 7th Maisie feels like a Hiccup rewrite. Maisie and Hiccup aren't just similar. They could be written from the same character draft with a few edits. Both start off eager to join their people's cause, but something feels off from the beginning. They're curious instead of cruel, thoughtful instead of loud, and always asking the kind of questions no one wants to answer. Each one watches a parent figure nearly die, and somehow that becomes the final push they need to stand up and say, no more. They're not fighters by nature. They're thinkers who draw monsters in notebooks and quietly dismantle centuries of tradition with one decision. It's almost like the Sea Beast took Hiccup, cut him in two, and gave each half its own script. Maisie carries the heart. She questions things, trusts the creature, and wants change. Jacob carries the goal. He hunts for glory, wants to prove himself, and sees the beast as a prize. But put them together, and you get Hiccup's entire arc, just stretched out and shuffled around. One character becomes two, and the story gets to hit the same emotional notes from two angles. It's clever in a sneaky way, but once you see it, you can't unsee the duplication. 8. Crow and Stoic are practically the same man. Captain Crow and Stoic the Vast might wear different hats, but they run on the same programming. Both lead with brute force, carry old grudges like family heirlooms, and treat compassion like a weakness. They love their people, but only if those people fall in line. When monsters appear, they reach for weapons before questions. And when the younger generation challenges them, They resist until the very last second. Then, in a rare moment of silence, they nod. No speech, no apology, just one heavy look that says, "Fine, you were right." It's not growth, it's grumpy surrender dressed as wisdom. 9. The monster fetches. Like a puppy, somewhere along the way, these terrifying beasts start playing fetch. And that's when you know the story's about to flip. In both movies, the creature suddenly acts more like a golden retriever than a threat to mankind. Blue chases a ship rat. Toothless chases grass. Both moments get the same treatment. Slow motion, emotional music, and wide-eyed wonder from the humans watching. That one scene is all it takes to change everything. The monster isn't a monster anymore. It's a misunderstood pet with excellent reflexes. Either both writers had the same weird idea, or someone's storyboard got recycled on purpose. 10. The monsters dominate the first fight. Right out of the gate, both movies throw you into chaos. The opening battles are big, loud, and meant to terrify you. Dragons dive from the sky, torching everything in sight. Red bursts from the ocean and takes down an entire ship in seconds. These early clashes aren't just for show, they're designed to convince the world and the audience that these creatures are pure danger. Even the camera work lines up. Wide shots, falling masts, terrified humans running for cover. The message is clear. The monsters are winning, and that's exactly what both stories want you to believe. For now. 11. The monster encyclopedias. Match too well. Both worlds are packed with creatures, and both stories take a moment to proudly show them off like they're reading from the same fantasy field guide. In How to Train Your Dragon, we get gronkles, natters, and a dragon that has 2 heads and no chill. In The Sea Beast, it's sea fleas, bristlebacks, and whatever that angry red blob was supposed to be. The names sound half fake and fully dangerous. Every creature gets a grand entrance, while someone shouts facts over chaos. It's world building, sure, but also feels like both films were flipping through the same monster manual during lunch breaks. 12. The crews are basically clones. Take the Vikings from Burke, shave off the beards, swap their horns for sailor hats, and you've got the crew from The Sea Beast. Both groups are loud, tough, and completely married to the hunt. They cheer for kills, boast about past battles, and treat monsters like walking trophies. Even the background characters match. There's always the silent giant, the scrappy comic relief with half his teeth, and the cook who somehow becomes everyone's mom. It's the same crew with a nautical reskin. If these movies shared a casting sheet, no one in either world would even notice. 13. Red is just the sea dragon they never showed. In How to Train Your Dragon 2, there's talk of a sea beast so massive it barely fits on the page. You never really see it. Just whispers in the dragon manual and a few blurry illustrations. But then, the sea beast comes along and gives us Red, who looks exactly like that ancient monster got pulled straight from the sketchbook and dropped on screen. Same spiny back, glowing eyes, and algae-covered mystery. It's like Sea Beast took that forgotten footnote, gave it a name, and animated it in full detail, just enough to make you wonder who really imagined it first. 14. They both end with a mic drop. Forget the final battle. These movies save their biggest punches for the quietest scenes. No swords, no explosions, just proof. In How to Train Your Dragon, Hiccup drops the damaged tail fin at his father's feet. In The Sea Beast, Maisie throws the royal book right back at the people who wrote it. Both moments land harder than any fight. The crowd freezes. The leaders flinch. The kids cheer like someone finally said what they were all thinking. It's not about winning the war. It's about exposing the lie. And both movies pull it off like they've rehearsed it together. 15. Both worlds feel almost real. What makes these stories work so well is how grounded they feel. Until the creatures show up, everything else stays oddly realistic. The ships creak, the ropes look worn, and the weapons are heavy and rusted. There are no magic spells or glowing swords, just people trying to survive in a world that feels pulled from history. Then suddenly, dragons fly, or sea beasts breach, and it still somehow makes sense. That one mythical twist doesn't break the world, it shapes it. It's not full fantasy, but it's far from ordinary. And both films walk that line like they planned it together. We've connected the dots. Now it's your turn. Are we watching a new classic in the making, or just a well-dressed shadow of Burke? If you spotted something we missed, call it out in the comments and be sure to follow for more behind-the-scenes breakdowns.